Hello my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you are on my channel, I'm Vanessa Samina and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's video is going to be a little bit of a different kind of video. I just felt like sitting down and chatting to you guys about my favorite decks because a lot of you always ask me what kind of decks that I use. So I thought I would just give you a little introduction to my current favorite decks. So mind you, this is something that constantly changes. I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly studying new decks and just making sure that I freshen up my knowledge to keep the value that you can get out of my readings as high as possible. So like I said, these are my current favorite decks. I will leave all of the names as well as authors will be down below because I definitely want to give credit to the creators of these decks, the amazing people who took the time and energy to make such beautiful tools that I and many others use for readings and just to gain spiritual and mental clarity. I'm not 100% sure if I will be able to link where you can purchase these decks from. I bought a lot of my decks from Amazon. If you're looking to buy a deck, that is definitely a great spot for you to look out for. Also, I'm soon going to be making a video on how to choose your first deck, your first tarot deck, so look out for that. But yeah, okay, a lot of talking already. I don't want to talk too much in the intro. I want to get straight into my current favorite decks and to just be able to talk to you guys about the pros, the cons. This is just meant to be a very chill sit down showing you decks, cards, so just lean back, get yourself a cup of tea, get yourself a little snack, and we can delve right into the video together. Okay. Okay, so right now these are my favorite decks. So I'm just gonna move them to the side, and sorry if I look into my viewfinder during this video. I just wanna make sure that you guys can see the decks and see the cards. So I'm just going to start off on the very top. Okay, so this deck is by Colette Baron-Reid, and it is a 68 card deck and guidebook. So this is a oracle. So there is a difference between oracles and tarot decks. So this is a animal oracle, and I absolutely love this. It's a spirit animal oracle, and it's just one of those decks that I feel really intuitively drawn to. I love the illustrations. I love the little guidebook that comes with it. So if you open this up, I mean, it's just beautifully made. I hope you guys can see. So I have my cards here on the top. I'm not sure if it comes with the book or the cards on the top. So this is the little booklet that comes with it, and I just love the stag that's on the cover of it. I think it's so cute and so beautiful. Then regarding the cards, okay, so because I make card reading videos, the back of the cards is important to me, and I just love this turquoise kind of blue with this almost gold tone. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. And regarding the illustrations, let me just show you guys some examples. I mean, if you've watched videos of mine, then you've seen me use this deck. So there are just lots of different animals, and they're all numbered, which I really like because you can read into the numerology as well. And I like that the colors are so bright because it intuitively just strikes a nerve for me personally, where I can feel for instance, if there's a lot of purples and blues here, I see something a little bit mysterious, where there's a bit more that needs to be uncovered. There are just decks where I instantly have a connection, and that's why I love them. And animals are something that I really am into. I love animals. So this deck has just spoken to me since day one. So if you're into animals and you like a deck that is colorful, that isn't too hard to learn. See, the thing with tarot cards is that you have to learn the suits. Well, you don't have to, but you can learn the suits and you can learn all the meanings behind the cards. And it's just I feel with this animal oracle, you have a lot of freedom. You can decide how you interpret. Yes, there is a little phrase on each card, but there's so much more that can go into this, especially if you know a little something about animals, then that can give you an idea for the meaning of each card. Yeah, I don't know if I'm already talking too much. I feel like this video is gonna be so long, but I just wanna really pour my heart out about each and every deck that I love and cherish so much. And you guys, I always keep my decks really nice and safe and clean mean I don't bend the cards, okay? I shuffle them like so. I don't like shuffle them with bending the cards. I would never do that because to me, it's just like hurting my cards. I'm showing you guys my really weird side in this video, but that's cool. So let's move on. My next favorite deck is this Mystical Wisdom deck. It is written by Gaye, Guthrie, I hope I didn't butcher that name, and the art is by Josephine Wall, and this is what it looks like. It's so gorgeous and colorful. So as you guys can see, I'm really into very colorful decks. Like I've just always been a very colorful person. So it comes with a little guidebook, but yeah, you guys, the cards, like the back of these cards, I love this pink purple type shade because pink is just my absolute favorite color. So that is already like something that I really love. Then the illustrations. So I will say somehow the illustrations are not my absolute fave. I usually go for different types of illustrations, but what I really love about these cards in particular is just the words and the meaning behind it. I can just really connect and click really easily with these words. And you know, sometimes it can be a little difficult for me depending on what the deck looks like, just because I speak a few different languages. So if the language in which the guidebook as well as the cards are written on doesn't resonate with me, then I just can't really connect with the cards and I can't really conduct readings. But all of these cards are so beautiful, like so colorful. There's so much detail that goes into them and I just love these. So yeah, just to give you an idea of what these cards look like, they are just gorgeous. So yeah, this is also one of my favorite decks, and just as with my first deck and every other deck, I take exceptional care of my cards. I know some readers like to shuffle the cards by like bending them into each other. I don't do that. I like to keep my cards in pristine condition. I like them to look fresh. I like to cleanse them with crystals. I like to do little rituals to keep them protected. And that's just the kind of person that I am. And you know, it doesn't really say anything about the quality of your readings, just that I like to treat my cards a certain way and another reader likes to do it their way. I think everybody has their own style, their own way, and I feel like the way you handle your cards is something very personal and subjective. This deck I actually discovered because I read her book. So this deck is by Rebecca Campbell. You may have read her book. It is the light, something with light. It's about light workers, and I forgot the name of the book, but this oracle deck is called Work Your Light. And this is a 44 card oracle deck, and what I love about this is the illustrations, which are by Danielle Noel, and basically just the color scheme of this deck. So as you can see, these are like beautiful baby pink and baby blue cards in the back. I absolutely love that with the roses. It just gives it a very delicate and feminine touch, which is something that I love. And also the illustrations are kept in those colors. There's a lot of white, there's a lot of pink, there's a lot of, you know, cute blues. So let me just show you guys a little closer. So this is what the cards look like. I mean, they're just gorgeous, okay? They're just really beautiful. So this just gives you an idea of what these cards look like. And again, like I just intuitively felt drawn to this deck, especially because I did read her book. I knew that Rebecca Campbell and I are of the same, how should I say, we're made of the same wood, if you will. That's like one of those sayings, I'm not sure. I mean, you guys always get what I mean. So I definitely feel connected to that person. I've read some of their other work and I loved what I read. I love the vibe and the energy. So I was already I already had my mind made up that I would like this deck. So maybe that was part of why I really loved it right from the start. But I just connected to the words, the illustration, the colors, as well as just how I feel when I look at this deck. Like I always want to incorporate it in readings, and I always have to restrain myself from using it because I don't want things to get repetitive. I don't want to always show the same cards and use the same decks. So I try to make sure I switch it up, which is really hard for me because this is just such a lovely deck. But let's move further into my current favorite deck. So the next one is this Crystal Angel Oracle deck. So this is by Doreen Virtue, and I have some other decks by her as well. It's a 44 card deck, a 44 card Oracle deck, and it's all about crystals. And you guys, I love crystals, okay? I'm crazy about crystals. I got them everywhere in my house. And yes, I'm a bit more of a minimalist type person, so I like to experiment with looks, but in my surroundings, I'm like a little more minimalist, which is why I really love these cards because they give an amazing pop of color. They all stand for different crystals, and I just like, whenever I can connect with something in the real world, that is when I feel like the connection is the strongest. So for instance, I really love animals. That's why I really love the animal deck. I really love and adore crystals. So, you know, obviously this crystal deck was for me. So this is what the cards look like. They do have like a few lines of text at the bottom, which I really like, just because they're very easy to understand. It's not rocket science. This is like one of those decks that I feel like is great for beginners that you can just pick up, and if you love crystals, I feel like you're going to instantly be drawn to this deck, and you're going to be able to interpret the cards as well as the colors. So this is not numbered. There is no further knowledge that you really need to pick up this deck. And yeah, the back is this amazing dark blue. Sorry, I'm just like all over the place. I'm just trying to sum up, you know, why I love this deck so much. And yeah, I just think it's a really great, easy deck that just enhances every reading. I feel like crystal decks always enhance readings. They always make them a bit more interesting and give them sort of an extra dimension, if you will. Okay, so next up we have the Oracle of the Unicorns. So this is by Cordelia Francesca Brabbs. How many cards are in this deck? 44 cards. So a lot of Oracle decks have 44 cards. This is also a 44 card deck, and mind you, all of these decks come with guidebooks. Don't worry about not knowing what to do when you get these decks. I really love this deck, okay? You know that I love unicorns. That's why I call you my little beautiful unicorns. And yeah, this deck is just filled with unicorns. So I'm not necessarily crazy about horses, but I'm crazy about unicorns. So the back is just this really mystical, almost like Northern Lights type illustration. And then the cards, no! And the cards are just these beautiful, beautiful Oracle cards that just have like such amazing illustrations, such amazing art. And what I like is that, you know, it's just so mystical. It's just something so out of this world, so extraterrestrial. And I feel like I can just intuitively interpret the cards. I feel like I have a true connection, and I just feel like these cards in particular make me happy. You know, they spark joy. They're cards where I pick them up and I'm excited to conduct a reading. I'm excited to share what I see in the reading. So that is a really valuable asset, and it's something that is hard to explain. It's something that I can't show. So I'm somebody who goes with feeling. So I'm a Cancerian. I think that's pretty normal for us to be really intuitive and to just go with our gut feeling. And that is what happens here with this deck. I can't explain it to you guys. I don't know what it is, but the fact that it's just right, it's something that you just need to feel. So that is one of my #1 tips that I have. If you're picking out decks, if you're looking for decks, go with what feels right. Go with where you love the illustrations, you love the colors, you love the subjects, you can relate to them, or you sort of feel like you've always been interested. Because I'm one that does a lot of intuitive work, but before I start interpreting the cards, before I intuitively bring them into readings, I'm the kind of person who will read the entire guidebook a few times, okay? Because I want to know what the creator had as a thought behind each card. just because I feel like it gives me a good base and it allows me to think in different ways that I maybe wouldn't have thought if I would just go and intuitively interpret it from my own sort of mental space, if you will. So it gives me a lot of new ideas, a lot of new interesting topics to touch on when I actually am able to read all of the guidebooks and understand the thought behind the cards and what the creator was thinking at the time, which I would recommend for anybody to do. Of course, there are a lot of like intuitive card readers out there, but I'm somebody who likes to learn by the book and then use that knowledge and run with it and, you know, do my own thing. So that is just how I do it, you guys. And my way is not the only way. So last but not least, we have the Tattoo Tarot. This is by Lana Zellner. So guys, is this not the most badass tarot deck that you have ever seen? This does not actually come with the traditional amount of cards. This is a 82 card deck because usually tarot decks come with 78 cards. So if you're looking to start card reading, I mean, I know doing a whole tarot deck can be intimidating, but that's just how it is. They come with 78 cards to cover each aspect and area of life, and this one comes with 82. So I did have a few cards that I feel like should not have been in this deck, and I will show you why in a second because I have them right in front of me. So it comes with a amazing booklet, and all the illustrations are in color in this deck, and let me show you guys. So first and foremost, I just want to like praise the simplicity of this deck. I love that it's just, you know, black and white. It's very simple. When it's laying on the table, you can just intuitively make your mind up as to which card you would like to choose. So regarding the illustrations, this is what they look like. Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands, and so on and so forth. So these illustrations are really beautiful. They look kind of like tattoo type illustrations. Obviously, you know, it's a tattoo tarot. But one thing that I did notice is that it came with 4 cards that seem sort of misplaced. I feel like maybe I got a faulty deck or something because these look like they were like the first drawings, if you know what I mean, because they're like duplicates of cards that are already in the deck. So exactly 4 cards that are missing, and tarot decks, as I said, you know, have 78 cards. So I feel like the 4 extra cards that I should have had are missing because these cards, these like suits with the corresponding numbers already exist in this deck, but with a different illustration that like goes all together with the deck. So maybe I got a bit of a faulty deck. Either way, this is still one of my favorite decks right now. This is still a deck that I reach for frequently just because I love a sort of unconventional take on the traditional tarot deck. I mean, I have the Rider-Waite deck, which is like the very, very traditional kind of, you know, beginner's deck, if you will, but I've kind of grew a little out of that. I was kind of bored of that, so I decided to get a tattoo tarot, and I've been loving it ever since. I mean, these illustrations are just badass, they're cute, they're amazing, and I just love them. I just find them very easy to talk about and to connect with and to conduct readings with. So yeah, guys, those were my 6 current favorite decks. I hope that you guys like this sort of format of video that's like just very chill and sit down and chatty. Let me know in the comment section if you did. And as I already mentioned, the decks will be down below in the description box. So if you liked any of these decks that you saw in this video, feel free to get the information that you need in order to get your own from my description box. So yeah, guys, those were my current favorite decks. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video and that you found it insightful and helpful, and that you were just able to learn maybe a few things. Maybe you found a deck that you really like and you want to add to your collection, or maybe even make your very first deck, who knows? But yeah, either way, I hope that you're having an amazing day or an amazing night wherever you are in this world, and I will see you in my next video.